Moving on to level 3 now, and there's a couple of specific instructions that might help you out with your resistance training progressions, particularly here at this level. And the point that I'd like to make straight up is the transition from level 2 to level 3 with both the pull-up and the push-up is quite a difficult transition. The reason for that is that when you go from a position for a push-up on your knees and your hands to when you now balance on your toes and your hands, you've really lengthened the lever and you really are lifting your full body weight now with the push-up. Now here's a little tip for you that you might like to try at home to make that transition a little easier. For the first week or two, or even longer if you need to, in your transition from level 2 to level 3 for the push-up, try doing this. The balance point is toes and hands, but the difference here is that I've taken a position with my hands that is about 12 inches elevated in terms of the position of my feet. So I'm higher at the shoulders than I would be if I was on level ground. If you make the push-up from there, down and up, that's a lot easier than if I was to do the same push-up with my hands and toes at the same level. That's a much more difficult exercise than this one here. So if you try the exercise for the first couple of weeks using an elevated hand position, that will make the transition for you a little bit more manageable. Now the other point that we like to make with the push-up, of course, is that when you do go to a position where you're on your hands and your toes, the body super stiffness becomes a little bit more difficult. It's harder to hold that tightness through your midsection and your hips and maintain those nice straight lines and those strong angles. So really focus on that, and putting your hands up in this higher position will enable you to focus more of your energy on this super stiffness concept. Equally important in the push-up as the actual push motion itself. Now, similarly, the transition from level 2 to level 3 for the pull-up is also quite a difficult one, again because of the change in lever length. Now recall that for level 2 with the pull-up, we had our feet tucked in very close to the backside, to our hips, and we're pulling up from there to there. So from the bottom position to the top. Now in level 3, the instruction is to go to a position where you have nice straight legs and heels on the ground and pull to the top from there. Now if you're finding that transition difficult, and it certainly can be, try a position halfway between the two. So instead of being tucked right up here near your backside, walk down a half a step but don't fully straighten your legs, and then take your position, strengthen the midsection and pull up from there. And what you'll find you can do from there is that as your strength progresses, so does the position of your feet, and you transition from level 2 to level 3 in a more gradual manner. I think that should help you a lot with the pull-up. One last point at level 3 concerns the notion of the exercises that have a hold in them. This comes in particularly with the abdominal exercises at level 3. I'd just like to emphasize that one 30-second hold is the same as completing one set of 10 repetitions. So for example, for the abdominal sequence, you've gone from level 2, where you were doing the crunches with a short pause at the top, 10 repetitions per set. Now you've moved on to level 3, where you're in the plank position on the knees and the elbows, and you're holding for 30 seconds. That 30-second hold is the same as a set of 10 repetitions that you completed in level 2. So you do that 30-second hold 3 times with a minute to a minute and a half rest between each one, and that completes your workout for the abdominal sequence at level 3. As always, we're going to begin the exercise sequence with the push-up. Now this time we've graduated from doing our push-up on the knees to now doing the push-up on the toes. Now, as always with the push-up, the important part of the technique is to maintain rigidity from the point of contact at the toes right up to the shoulder, so you've got a nice straight line all the way down to the bottom, so we get a full range of motion, and then back to the top. So we've got 10 repetitions, and with me. Nice and slow and controlled for 1, 2, and 3, and 4, and 5, halfway there, and 6, 7, 8, nice and strong, 9, and last one for the sequence, and 10. Terrific. All right, that's a tough transition from the knees to the toes, so if you've gotten through that first set, then that's a terrific job indeed. We'll move on to the pull-up now. So we're all set up over here for the pull-up. Position yourself underneath your bar. Now taking a narrow grip and balancing on the heels, making that nice straight line, nice and strong through the pelvis and through the midsection, and pulling yourself all the way up to the bar. And here we go. That's 1. Try not to jut the jaw and push your head forward. Okay, stay nice and straight for 2. Nice and straight and strong for 3. And 4. And that's 5. Stay with me. Stay strong. 6. All the way up if you can. 7. And 8. 2 to go. Last 2. And 9. And pull for the last one. And lower yourself down. Terrific. Okay. Time to move on to the squat. Now, as we did with the last squat, we're going to squat all the way down until the thigh reaches a point where it's parallel to the ground. But this time, we're making a short pause at the bottom, about 3 seconds when you get to the bottom. So, establish your start position, feet slightly wider than shoulder width apart, eyes straight ahead, and slowly down. All the way down, and pause, 2, 3, and back up. Straight back down to the second one, and down, 2, 3, and up. There we go. Now hold that position, hold, 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 and that's 3. Nice and slow, control it on the way down, and 4. Pause is the hard bit, hold it there, and 5. Okay, into the back half now, hold, 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 and 6, and hold the position, that's 7, 3 to go, and 8, last couple, hold the position, nice and low, nice and strong, push through the thighs, 1 to go, hold, 2, 3, and that completes the squats. Time to move on to the abdominal exercise at level 3 now. What we're doing with this one is we're introducing a hold exercise where the object of the exercise is to hold a position rather than complete repetitions. So we're taking a position on the elbows and the other contact point is the knees. And the idea from here is to establish a nice straight line, nice and solid, no sagging down towards the ground and no putting your backside in the air to make it easier for yourself. Nice and straight, nice and solid, and we've got 30 seconds, and go. Just hold your position, think about the pelvis, think about the muscles in your abdominal wall and the muscles in the lower back. No movement, just nice and strong. And we're halfway through, believe it or not. Just hold. Hold, hold. Take some deep breaths. You're allowed to continue breathing through this sequence. 5 seconds to go. And relax. Good job. All right, just one more exercise to complete level 3 sequence. This one for the lower back. You need to take a position where you put your heels on the ground and then balancing on the palms of your hands that are back behind you. Now, if you get your hands too close to your hips, you'll find this exercise quite awkward. So let's slide them all the way back so they're on a little bit of an angle and a good foot or so behind where your backside is in contact with the ground. Now, from this position, you're going to raise the pelvis until you're in a nice straight line and then back down to the floor, and you can have a short rest at the bottom. All right, so we go up, back to the floor, short rest to complete a repetition, and we've got 10. So with me, lift the pelvis till you're nice and straight and strong. That's 1. Well done. And lift, nice and straight, stay strong. The muscles of the lower back doing the work here. That's 2. Short rest. And lift and hold. That's 3.
Nice and straight, stay strong. That's 4. Short touch down and up for 5, nice and straight. You feel those lower back muscles contract now. Into the back half, that's number 6. And down, nice and slow and controlled. No jerky movements, no accelerations. And hold, that's 7. 3 more. Nice and straight, lift as high as you can, get straight. Last couple. And hold. Short touch down, last one. Lift and squeeze and hold. Lower yourself down and sit up, shake your arms out, pop yourself up, and that completes level 3 of the resistance training sequence. Well done.
Level 3 of the band alternatives. Remember, we produced these exercises as an alternative to the pull-up. Now we've now taken hold of the red band, but remember the stretch is not so important. It's that low anchor point, or that waist level anchor point, that's important for the exercises at this particular level. What's also important is the amount of load that will now be on the front leg. Now because we've done the previous 2 levels on my left leg, I'm going to put my right leg forward this time, so I've got a little bit of staggering of that resistance, so as the overload's fairly even left to right. Okay, now again, establish your stretch. What you're going to need to do here, keep the legs a little bit bent so you're nice and solid with your base, and also establish a little bit of lean back. If you stand too upright with this one, when you start the pulling, you're going to find a real tendency for your body to be pulled forward. So if the foot's well in front of you, and then you almost sit back a little bit on that back foot, establish your stretch, and this one's a horizontal pull. Now level 3 is where we pull back till your hands get level with the torso and the elbows track very close to the side of your body. So back we come. Now remember, nice and low. We don't need to pull high to the chest. This is a low finish at the top of the abdomen. Alright, and 10 repetitions with me. Stay strong. That's 1. Remember, no forward rocking, no rocking. Stay strong in your body. And pull back. That's 2. And 3. We'll make these contractions as constant as possible. No pausing at the front, which is a bit of a rest. And that's 4. You feel a bit of load on the front leg and some resistance through the lower back and the abdomen. That's good because we want those muscles to contract. Big stretch and pull back. Stay nice and close. That's number 6. And 7. Complete the repetition. Try and get through the full range of motion all the way back. And 8. Don't rush there. We don't want momentum. We want muscle contraction. 2 to go. And finish with 9. That's good. Last one. And stay low and hold and release. And that's level 3 of your band options.